All areas within the terminal building are designated as smoke-free. Thank you for your cooperation.
I'll say that.
Will be removed by the airport police.
The fact that the federal government is making us choose between breaking the law to help our child or watching them suffer is absurd.
Hey, hey!
We've lived in fear of our government since we started.
My son has epilepsy.
My son has autism.
She would hit all day. This would go on 12 hours.
Her lips turned blue and her eyes rolled back.
No, it's okay, it's okay.
You can't imagine what it's like.
I mean, how do you just sit back and just accept my child's gonna die? No, you do something about it.
We are definitely breaking the law.
Don't tell your family members. Don't tell your nurse. Don't tell your doctor. Don't tell your family, nobody, your friends.
We got a phone call from CPS.
CPS knocked on our door.
DHS showing up at our front door.
I got CPS called on me.
A lot of people think that if the state is legal, like Colorado, then you can't get in trouble for giving your kids cannabis products. It's not true. The laws do not protect you.
Protective custody warrant for the daughter, okay?
All right, me and my wife are coming out, all right?
No.
Hey, what is going on?
Relax. Hey, put your hands behind your back.
Why are you doing this?
Just the one daughter who's named in the warrant is going to be taken into protective custody.
I want to call the cops because people are about to take our daughter.
She's gonna freak out. She's in better hands with her parents who love her.
But the cops are taking our daughter, and it is all over CBD oil. That's perfectly legal in California.
People say, oh, marijuana, it's barely a crime anymore, you know? Well, that is completely not true. I could be charged and sentenced to 10 years to life for her cookies.
It's so crazy to me that this can happen to a normal, everyday family.
It happens. It happens all the time, but you don't hear about it all the time. We didn't think it happened to us either, honestly, until it happened.
Medical marijuana is a Schedule I drug.
Meaning that little to no research can be done in the U.S. But there are dozens, if not hundreds, of anecdotal reports online, small research projects in Israel showing that medical cannabis can help. And to show how absurd this is, cocaine is a Schedule II. I can sit here right now and write you a prescription for cocaine. Cocaine is lethal. Many opiates are a Schedule II. The state-by-state legalization of marijuana has been a nice movement, but it's not a solution. More than 30 states have approved medical cannabis programs, and you're thinking that's fantastic, we're almost there, but we're not. Of those 30 states, many of them have rules and regulations that make it very hard for parents and children to receive medical cannabis if it's indicated. They're limited by their strains, they're limited by their dosing, they're limited by the indications it's approved for. We are not there yet.
We are looked upon as bad moms, bad people.
We're not stoners or druggies. There's no reefer madness going on. We're just looking for medicine. We are literally working together as an underground group of moms.
My first international mom reached out to me. A mom in Taiwan found me.
We received letters like that from all over the world. Most of us are desperate, and that's why we reach out to the other parents to assist us with strains, dosing, how often.
In less than 5 minutes, he was speaking more and just happier, and it was just so different.
He was increasing his language and saying things that made sense.
The parents that are doing this, they're the ones who are sort of the groundbreakers for us. They are our initial research projects. These parents are really walking the razor's edge.
We're not smugglers. We're just moms getting medicine for kids who are really struggling. Until you've walked in someone's shoes, there's no room to judge.
Giving my son cannabis was never on my radar. I worked in law enforcement, specifically handled cannabis.
You would never know. Could be the mom at the PTA meeting that looks so put together, is like packing her bag to head for Colorado.
I just cannot stop fighting for him.
If he's going down, I'm going down with him.
Come live in my house. Come take care of my kid. Honestly, come and get me.
Ready to go? Come on. There you go. Hop on in there. He's gonna bite me.
I know. Be very careful.
Gentle.
Put your hands down.
Come on. It's hard in the car.
Quiet. Yeah. She would rather.
Come on, sweetie.
Is her helmet right there?
Let's get her helmet. Don't hit your...
Here's the house. Coming over. Come on. Come on. Let go.
Okay.
This way, let's fall. Let's get down. There. You can do it. Our identical twin daughters, Keely and Kara, were born 3 months premature.
Keely kind of progressed pretty quickly, but Kara just developed slower.
So we did countless numbers of therapies every week. Physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. There were about 68 words she would say. About 3.5, she began to have an aggressive physical abuse and began to punch herself.
It's heartbreaking when there's nothing you can do to help them.
The autism diagnosis came from the school district. They gave her that diagnosis in kindergarten.
When she was 6, there was these periods of time where she would hit all day.
Quiet. Ooh, that hurts. Let go. Let go.
This would go on 12 hours. And so that's when we started her on the antipsychotics.
Her face just kind of went, you know, she became like a zombie, and she just sat there and stared in front of her for hours.
It helped in the sense of it stopped the 12-hour runs, but the good days were still a long way away. We're gonna put our helmet on. We kept escalating the dose of these hard medicines to try to get it better under control, but it didn't work.
We were in denial and we were desperate, and we let the neurologist go up and up and up and up on that dosing. When the pharmacist came up to the floor with her medications, he said to me, "This medication is written by a physician, but I would never refill this because this dosing is equivalent to what a 2,000-pound horse should get."
How much
she
did
was
she weigh?
45 pounds. I thought, I'm gonna have to do something different. I'm gonna have to change this. There's got to be a better way that will help her.
But nobody had any better ideas.
Cole, do you want to go jump on the trampoline? You want to go jump? Jump. You want to go outside and play? Play outside? Okay, here, help me put your shoes on. Say I love you. I love you. Say I love you. I love you. I feel like that I'm mourning the child that I don't have anymore because he was there.
What else can he spell? Hat. Hat. Good job. Yay.
Go.
He was a typical child, and now it's just like he's lost.
Duck walked, swag.
We started off with speech therapy and occupational therapy.
No, I don't.
That's not helping him. He also has a lot of OCD. His sleep is horrible. I don't think that he has the receptor of night and day. So he could wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and be up for the rest of the day. These are all the different supplements that I've gotten from different doctors that they suggest that are gonna help him, but I have no idea how I'm supposed to get these in his body. He doesn't eat any foods where I could mix it, like a applesauce or something like that, he won't take a smoothie. He will only take certain drinks, and he'll only drink out of cups that are clear so he can see what's in them. And if it looks different or looks cloudy or looks like I mixed something, he won't take it. I don't feel like that there has been anything that we have done that has helped him. Go tell your dad bye.
Give me a hug. Bye. Give me a hug. All right. Love you, buddy. Okay. Have fun. All right. Okay. Say love you, Dad. Cole, say love you, Dad. Okay, bye, buddy.
You know, just the fact that he can't even speak. He's, you know, never going to be a normal kid or person. He'll probably always live with us.
Cole, no. Okay, put him down. Okay, let's go. He will get to the point where he gets very frustrated now because he can't express to me all of his wants and needs. You ready to go home? Are you ready to go home? The older and the bigger he gets, it makes it harder also. Because I mean, at some point in time, I'm not gonna be able to just pick him up and go. Hey, come on. I don't know what to do, and no one can give me any suggestions of what to do. It's not black and white. Autism is so gray because every child is so different. My heart hurts, it aches all day, every day for him. It's okay. Let's go inside. I would do anything and everything to have him be more comfortable in this world and be able to do other things. I think whenever he gets older is when it's going to be really hard.
Yeah, I can't imagine trying to calm him down
whenever he's an adult.
Going hysterical when he's bigger than I am, or you know.
Well, I think that if he didn't have so much anxiety and could just like calm down and focus, you know, he could either participate in something or sit there and enjoy it. About a year ago, I started researching medical cannabis. I found Jason just through doing research about medical marijuana and found him on Facebook. Was really amazed by everything that he's done for the autism community. I just feel like that it could be the missing link for him. Just the things that it's doing for these children is amazing.
Right now, with it still being illegal here, I think that, you know, we should probably wait. Just because the ramifications, if you were to get caught, we could possibly lose our kids to DHS.
I'm not really thinking that that's what's going to happen.
She wants to pretend that, that's not a possibility.
No, I do know it's a possibility. I definitely know it's a possibility, but I'm willing to take that risk to help him.
Okay.
And if it means doing this, then I'm going to do this. I don't know, just something deep down in my heart, I just feel like that this could really help him. And I can't stop. Like, I just cannot stop fighting for him.
I mean, I would rather, take him up there for treatment or something like, or wait till it's legal here.
Well, who knows when that would even be.
Yeah.
I think that if it would help him, it'd be worth it for me to go and get it and try it. And then I would know for myself that I have tried it, and that's one more thing that I can mark off of my list and in my mind of trying to help him.
I really do believe it would help him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just worried about the legality of this next step. So, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
She does this rocking. She can do this an hour. This is self-soothing behavior, self-stemming. So I can tell she's hitting. That's why we're gonna do a treatment, because she can't settle herself.
Starting her vaporizer, let it heat up. It's got to heat up to 204. This is our primary vehicle for rescue, the regular plant here. Put the medicine in here, and then heat it up into the balloon. Generate vapor out of it, and then once this is filled, we will put the mask on it and deliver it like a asthma treatment, basically. Just hold that hand down. It's okay. Come on, Kara.
Come on, girl. Come on. Let's
stop. It works in about 3 to 5 minutes. There we go.
Take a deep breath. Hold it in. Hold it in. There's not one single medication that has benefited her faster and more aggressive than a plant.
We have oils and edibles.
This is an indica for nighttime and evening.
Marijuana for Kara would never have happened without her neighbor. He had seen Kara suffer.
Daytime sativa.
And he knew how to cook it all up, and he made brownies for Kara.
He gave us a little tiny square of a brownie and said, we know that this is something you're not for and you're maybe even against, but if you just give it a try, it may help you. And I had that brownie in the freezer for about maybe 2 months, and we were packing up, heading to Galveston, and I put it in my medicine bag with Kara's medicines. We were in the car, and 30 minutes down the road, she starts punching. And I just got that brownie out, and I gave it to her.
Hey, girl.
About an hour later, she is looking out the window, not doing any self-injury. She's not doing any of her hand flapping.
It was amazing.
I'm looking at him in the rearview mirror going,
Hey, Kara.
I did immediately go to her neurologist, and I told him what happened and what we did. I even medicated her before the appointment. And for the first time, Kara let the doctor listen to her heart. And he sat there and just stared at her, and he was enthralled. He said, how long does this reaction last? He did not know anything about marijuana, and he didn't know that it's actually considered medication for people.
I think doctors are ignorant. Like, I didn't realize how cannabis and the endocannabinoid system wasn't in medical books at Harvard.
They don't teach the endocannabinoid system in medical school or nursing school.
So why does marijuana work? Marijuana works because it contains cannabinoids, just like your own body does. You have endocannabinoids. You have an entire endocannabinoid system. You are a walking Schedule I narcotic right now. The difference is yours are made within your body. Marijuana and cannabis work because they simply enhance your own body's system. The endocannabinoid system is a regulatory system. It sort of keeps your body in balance. It takes areas that are too active and brings them down, too down and bring them up. It keeps everything in harmony, if you will. We are still learning about the endocannabinoid system. We're finding it in different parts of the body doing different things. We know it's in the nervous system. We know it helps control overactivity, say from seizures or tremors. We know it exists in the GI tract, helps with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. And now we're learning it even exists in the skeletal system. It helps repair bone when it's broken. And it's a new system. We've known about it for about 20 years. We're just scratching the surface about it, but we do know about it. The problem is medical schools act like we don't. None of them teach the endocannabinoid system. At the best, some surveys show 25% have some topic about medical marijuana that they offer their students. So why is cannabis still so controversial? And the answer is because the research simply isn't there yet. We are unable to do that research. The first step to making it accepted medical practice to, again, be able to order patients medical cannabis or prescribe it to them is to legalize it, to deregulate it to a Schedule II or even lower. There are only a few countries that really have expanded in both research and treatment with medical cannabis. Canada, Spain is known for it as well, but more importantly, Israel as the origin of the study of medical marijuana.
It was not until the 1960s that a scientist in Israel actually opened up the plant, if you will, and they're actually probably ahead of the world.
If Hippocrates is the father of modern medicine, then Dr. Raphael Mechoulam is the father of medical marijuana.
In Israel, we have quite a few clinical trials that are going on now on autism in children. They use cannabidiol with a certain amount of THC there, and although the clinical trial has not been completed, the preliminary data show that it seems to be very helpful.
There's two different states in the brain. One is called the resting state and one is called the active state. Now, it turns out that regulation, that communication from the inside to the outside, is disrupted in autistic children. What regulates the communication between the inside and the outside is the ratio of two chemicals, which are equivalent to the CBD and THC of cannabis. My theory is that in the autistic children, what happens is that they get frustrated because they're either stuck in or stuck out, and they need to do something with their skin, oftentimes hitting the wall or somebody else, because the skin is what makes you be able to go from in to out. When you give them the right dose of CBD to THC, the frustrations disappear. There was one child who I was visiting who was receiving 3 drops of mainly CBD oil, and he was somewhat better, but he was rocking and wasn't paying much attention. I said to his mother, let's give 1 drop of THC oil together with it, because I think he's out of balance. She gave him 1 drop, and within 3 minutes, he was paying attention, he was happy, he was smiling. To suggest that something that has no possible treatment, like autism, has an effective treatment.
We don't see side effects. The FDA in the US demands that they continue looking at the side effects after many years of use. But one has to do clinical trials that can be reproduced, that can be done again and again. The US can do all of these things as soon as it decides. The money is there, the clinicians are there, the knowledge is there. It should be done. We do what we can, but it's a small country. My lab is a small lab. If American labs can do it, they can have huge amounts of money from NIH and they can advance the field more rapidly.
The United States made marijuana a dangerous drug when I was in medical school.
America's public enemy #1 in the United States is drug abuse.
The war on drugs made doctors very afraid of cannabis. The fact that children in America may need cannabis for autism, same as with epilepsy. And the federal government restrains the doctors from giving them something that's helpful is what's known as a medical crime.
The United States has done very little in the way of actual medical cannabis research. Mostly in part of it still being a Schedule I narcotic, we're not allowed to do research on it. And because of that, mothers and parents have started their own underground groups online to compare notes, to compare dosing and strains to find what's going to work best for their children.
We are literally working together as an underground group of moms. There's dads too involved.
These groups are just invaluable resources because you're constantly learning and teaching. The parents will know more than the medical professionals because we're practitioners in this.
We are living and breathing and doing it daily, and most of us are desperate, and that's why we reach out to the other parents on those Facebook pages to assist us with strains, dosing, how often. Parents are who we are relying on for helping us medicate our kids.
The United States, I believe as recently as 2014, spent $1.4 billion on marijuana research, which sounds great, except 80% of it is spent on the side effects, the addiction rate, and the withdrawal of marijuana. Less than 20% is actually spent on what potential benefit it has. And in part, that's due to the fact that it remains a Schedule I narcotic. It's time to reclassify medical cannabis.
I think there are legitimate purposes of medical marijuana, and that needs to be noted. But I also want to hire the PR firm that put the word medical before marijuana 20 years ago, because they changed the face of marijuana from the lazy stoner living in the parents' basement and going to Woodstock music festivals to your grandma with cancer. My name is Kevin Sabet. I'm a 3-time White House advisor on drug policy. In 2013, I founded something called SAM, Smart Approaches to Marijuana, with former Congressman Patrick Kennedy. You know, Patrick's dad, Ted, fought big tobacco for 50 years as the tobacco industry relentlessly lied about the harms of cigarettes, even though they knew about them for decades. We see today's marijuana industry as very similar. Right now, these poor families are being targeted by for-profit companies and buying these cannabidiol oils, not even knowing what's in it. The FDA did an investigation over the last couple of years and found that the vast majority of products claiming to be CBD actually didn't even have much CBD in it. They had a lot of THC, they had molds, bacteria, chemicals, additives. That's not what we want to have for someone who's desperately trying to get their kid who has 300 seizures a week some relief. We want to get them medicine that could be helpful. We have an FDA-approved drug now. I hope those folks use it.
I can currently prescribe 2 medicines, Marinol, which is synthetic THC, and now Epidiolex, which is a variant of CBD for nausea and vomiting or for seizure disorder. I can prescribe them, they have a dosage. The problem is they're simply not as effective as natural medical marijuana. Here we have a natural product that's been around for 3,000 years. It's never been determined to be fatal. It treats a whole host of conditions. If for some reason we don't want to use a natural product, we want to use these synthetic, chemically derived structures that are based upon it and prescribe those. It makes no sense. Progress is being made in the United States concerning medical marijuana and treatment. The problem is it's the wrong kind of progress.
I went ahead and I purchased CBD oil, and I started her taking that every day. The quality of her mood was more stable. I began to titrate down her prescription medicine by little tiny bitty droplets. It took a 1.5 years to get off the antipsychotic medication. She came to get me. That medication, the side effects were she became a zombie, she drooled, she choked, she tripped, she fell, she had gut problems, she had severe constipation. The quality of her life has not just changed 100%, it's like 1,000% change.
If we didn't have this, I don't know how exactly we would have maintained our family. It's just...
Yeah, we probably wouldn't be together. We probably wouldn't live in the same
hours
home.
and hours of this, it takes a toll, you know. And at this point, it's hard to remember just how hard it was when we didn't have a way to stop it.
Yeah, because now we can have, well, I won't say a normal life, but we can have an improved life.
This is the eBay of illegal things. We mainly buy local, right? But there's sometimes where I'm really after trying a specific strain. There's been some strains that work really well. The purples are good for autism, but are sometimes harder to acquire locally. And you pay for this with Bitcoin, so it's an anonymous transaction. We've lived in fear of our government since we started. A single cookie is a felony. I could be charged and sentenced to 10 years to life for her cookies. 10 to life in prison. Surprisingly, a lot of people had no idea how serious a crime, you know, these edibles and oils are.
Because medical marijuana is a Schedule I drug, we are definitely breaking the law. And I live in fear until we can change the laws in Texas to benefit patients like Kara.
Marijuana is still a Schedule I narcotic, according to the federal government. It still has no medical benefit and a high risk of abuse. To show how absurd this is, cocaine is a Schedule II. I can sit here right now and write you a prescription for cocaine. Cocaine is lethal. Many opiates are a Schedule II. Schedule I is really a tough schedule to get away from. When you're Schedule I, to get down, it requires a full movement by the government to make this happen. Once it happens, we are still years away from the research we need to get done.
The decision to go public I was pushing for that.
I said, okay, let's go ahead and post a video on Facebook to show our legislatures that it's a medicine for her and there's something that actually helps.
It was purely to help our cause in Texas.
But also, I was thinking of all the families that it could reach and who could see that it's something, there's hope. And CPS knocked on our door 2 weeks later. It scared me. I thought, what am I doing?
Good job. It's okay. We gotta brush them so they're all clean.
No.
I know we're almost done here. Let me see. I feel like that now I just go through the same daily things. It's just our same routine. I'm just gonna put a little bit in. It's okay, just a little bit. Just move it over. Look. Hey, it's okay. And I don't know, maybe I'm becoming more aware of it, just him not getting any better. Hey, there, look, that's all I wanted. It looks so good, all done.
Okay.
But I'm very hopeful that he does. I mean, it's I feel like I'm just constantly searching for something to help him. And I can't, as a mom, I can't stop. I just cannot stop fighting for him. And if it takes trying this any way I can, then that's what I'm gonna do. So the next step is to go to Colorado and meet Jason and talk to him about how he can help Cole.
At this point, we're willing to do anything just to help him, even if he, helps him out just a 1/10 of a percent or anything. I mean, just anything.
I would be happy with that, just anything. My husband's definitely nervous.
I'm worrying about, DHS showing up at our front door and trying to take all of our kids from us, just over trying to help our autistic son.
It definitely is very scary. I'm just nervous about what potentially could happen. It's illegal. feeling a little nervous. And I'm glad that you're coming with me.
The destination is on your left. Arrived.
The gate's open. Yeah, that's definitely. I thought this place would be like guarded.
Well, they have a gate.
Yeah, I know. I thought it'd be like guarded with like somebody walking around with a machine gun.
Hi, I'm Melanie.
Jason.
Nice to meet you.
Clint. Jason, nice to meet you. How you guys doing?
We're good. We're excited to be here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This is the greenhouse that we're harvesting now.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely never seen anything like this before, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Are they all different?
Yeah.
Because they look different.
It's all different strains. Like, see how this strain is a little greener than this one?
Yeah, but they do different things?
Yeah, there are different potencies, different terpenes in here. So the different terpenes play different roles in the effects of the medicine. And I'm like a compounding pharmacist, so like a molecule mechanic.
Okay.
So we figured out what formulation would work, found the right terpene profile and the right ratio of THC to CBD, did the extractions. We figured out the easiest way to administer it because some of these kids have sensory issues.
Yes.
One of the biggest success stories we get back on the 10-to-1 with high-functioning kids on the spectrum, but is that they're able to form sentences. Their cognitive function increases within like the first week.
But he's not high-functioning.
No, he's not high-functioning, I wouldn't say, but he's so smart. Like, he can read, he can smell, he can spell, he can read.
He's always been able to spell and read.
Yeah, like he can do math things. I mean, he can do, it's all there. Yeah. It's so there.
Yeah, that's all cognitive function, and so that's the quickest thing that you see on the list. Like their motor skills, they can start getting more coordinated. They can actually put words together in sentences and stuff like that.
And that's what the Haley's Hope?
Yeah.
I met Haley Cox at the end of 2013. She was hooked to an oxygen tank. She was basically paraplegic. She couldn't talk. She wouldn't make eye contact. And she was having hundreds of seizures a day, and the hospitals in Georgia had given up on her. So I'd been working with a CBD strain for a couple of years at that point, and we gave the oil to Haley, and it was like a magic bullet. On the third day that she was using it, her seizures dropped dramatically, from like 100 a day to 50. Haley said, "Mama," for the first time, about 3 months into using the oil. So that made my day. And it made me realize that I was really onto something here, and I'm really making a difference in people's lives.
So this is where you make it?
So this is a CO2 extractor. So it uses carbon dioxide under subcritical pressure around 2,500 psi to do the extractions.
So this makes the oil?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
You know, the oil comes from the sticky stuff called trichomes on the plant material.
Mm-hmm.
It's the sticky stuff that gets on your hands when you handle it. And so that's the stuff we're trying to pull off. We don't want the plant material.
So what does it look like after the oil is done? What?
This. This is all THC.
Oh, wow.
Medical cannabis and the endocannabinoid system are very complex. But if we take it from the simplest standpoint, when you look at a cannabis plant, the leaves, the buds are full of hundreds of cannabinoids. Cannabinoids are active compounds in cannabis. The two we talk about the most are THC and CBD. THC is the psychoactive compound. This is what gets people high. CBD tends to not do that, and they work well together. Both THC and CBD have beneficial medical effects. THC does more than get people high. In the skeletal system, it stimulates osteoblast activity, means it helps rebuild bone. In the GI tract, it helps treat nausea and vomiting. Cannabidiol, or CBD, has anti-seizure properties. It was just actually approved by the International Olympic Committee because it had benefits with muscle healing and injury. For a lot of patients, CBD alone is not enough. It simply doesn't have the neurologic effects necessary for some cases of autism, for Parkinson's, for severe seizure disorder. A lot of those patients benefit from a better cannabinoid spectrum, often including THC.
So there's different types?
Yeah, so it's not a one-size-fits-all type of product. We created several ratios, like a 20-to-1, 15-to-1, 10-to-1. All these different ratios have, different levels of THC in them. The autism kids right now, based off of our recent polls and surveys, are responding better to this product than 10-to-1. It's got twice as much THC as 20-to-1.
So, but is it legal for me to have that in Oklahoma?
I have two different products. One of them is legal in Oklahoma and one of them is not. Okay.
Several states have limitations as to the maximum dosage you could give a patient. But for certain conditions, such as severe autism, severe epilepsy, the doses required are much higher than what we are allowed to give. So parents are essentially breaking the law to give their child medical cannabis, which is in effect potentially saving their life.
A lot of people take the risk anyways, and my strongest piece of advice, should you go that route, don't tell your family members, don't tell your nurse, don't tell your doctor, don't tell your family, nobody, your friends.
Okay.
I also don't want to be the cause of you getting your kid taken away by CPS, and they will take your kid.
Yes. I definitely want to try that for sure on him. It sounds like that could help him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I'm so excited. So, and then how do I give it to him?
You have a syringe.
So, and then what's your dose?
Stick your tip of that syringe in that hole, not all the way, like halfway. There you go.
Uh-huh.
Now flip it upside down. Pull out.
So just like that much?
0.3. Pull out
0.3?
Yeah, because that's the dose you're going to be using. Pull that syringe out. Put it under your tongue and squirt. That's it.
Tastes like sunflower seeds.
There's no THC in this?
Yeah, there's THC.
Okay, there's THC in that.
But it's a small amount, and it's the amount where it is
Therapeutic.
Right.
It's enough to have a therapeutic effect, but not enough to get you high. There's 2 milligrams in each ml of that, which, for an adult, 10 milligrams is enough to make you go, whoa, I feel something. Yeah. So, you have to get, even an adult has to hit about 10 milligram mark, but to even feel it.
So with my son, doing what I just did on me to my son is not going to be an easy task.
The best place, for sublingual administration, is under the tongue or in the cheek.
Okay. So even if it's like if he's.
I wonder how tasteful it is if you put in a drink.
Don't do that.
No, I don't want to do that. So
it doesn't mix well.
So if he's clenching and fighting me, as long as I get it in between his teeth and his cheek.
That's the second best spot. He might spit it out, but most likely he won't be able to spit it out because it's such a thick liquid that, it coats your mouth.
Right, so it's going to coat it before he can really have a chance to.
So it'd be hard for him to spit it out.
So do you up the dose ever?
You want to stick with that dose for probably 2 weeks. You're going to do that 3 times a day, what you just did.
Okay.
0.3 ml, 3 times a day. In 2 weeks, we're going to revisit the dose and see what we're going to do from there.
Okay, yay, I'm excited. Try it.
Look it. This is yours, okay? All right. You want to eat with a fork or a spoon? There you go. Don't make a mess, though, okay? Put the plate back after you're done, Mama. Yeah. I'm making mac and cheese, too, if you want to eat later.
Aliana had her first seizure when she was 10 months old. She went limp a little bit in and out. Her lips turned blue and her eyes rolled back. When we got to the hospital, she perked up and she looked like a normal child again. I'm like, okay, they're gonna think I'm that crazy mom. But about 30 minutes after we got there, it happened again. They didn't want to diagnose her because they said she was too young.
So they started calling it febrile seizures.
Yeah. From the time she was 10 months until she was almost 3, she started having them an average 1 every 6 weeks.
I'm scared.
You're scared?
Yeah.
What if I tell you you don't have to be scared no more?
No, I'm be scared.
Shake on it. I promise.
We kept going to the emergency room every time she had a seizure, and we'd go there, same thing, no diagnosis, she's fine now, you can go home.
Are you doing makeup? What's makeup for?
Then you put on your makeup.
Why?
Because you put on your makeup.
She went seizure-free for about 3 years. I felt so relieved.
Okay.
That way, honey. That way. Face down. I was so upset. I thought we were past that. Hi, baby.
What's up, Mama? You see me?
And after that, she was still having the seizures once a month. This neurologist prescribed an anti-seizure medication. She told me that I could pick up her prescription that same day. And I asked her, is there a diagnosis? And she said, no, we can't diagnose her yet. The side effects happened right away. I can see it instantly within minutes after I gave her her first dose. She was so aggressive and, so kind of violent. Mood swings every few minutes. 1 minute she was jumping up and down on my bed. And I would tell her, calm down, don't jump on the bed, you're hitting your head. And it was like it didn't even faze her. And then after that, she went to her room and grabbed a book and literally ran up to me and hit my pregnant belly with the book and said, read this to me. After doing that, she just starts crying. I was holding back tears myself because she's normally just a very happy-go-lucky girl. But it was this extreme opposite on this medication.
When they prescribed her medication, I couldn't even get a direct answer of what the plan is. What's the plan? How long is she on this? How does this work to treat seizures? Please, someone, break it down for me. And 2 doctors, they couldn't, or they wouldn't.
Why is it that this medication was the only option we had? I ended up making the decision to just take her off. And then she wasn't taking anything for a few months. Baby, did you take your oil today? Why don't you go take it? We wanted to do our research on CBD oil. It's one of those things, even me back then, it has to do with, cannabis or marijuana. I don't know, brushed it off.
Take your precious oil.
After seeing all the benefits of CBD oil, there's no psychoactive effects. There's no negatives.
Yeah, it's natural.
It's natural. It was like a no-brainer. And it was in July of 2017 when we were like, we're gonna start using CBD oil to treat her seizures.
Well done.
We went down to the grocery store and bought it. We started giving her 7 drops twice a day.
The seizures were happening way less, so you can tell that it was working.
Between a 6-week period, she had 2 seizures. One of them was at school.
When I picked her up from the nurse, she asked about the seizures, and I wasn't gonna lie to her face. I told her, I said, right now, I'm using CBD oil with her. And I'm hoping that I can trust her a little bit, because I still got some hope in her. She probably cares about me. And
that was what did it.
We're here for a welfare check. We're checking the welfare of children.
Sir, honestly, this is news to us, sir.
Again, we don't want to traumatize you, and I can hear the small children in there.
Okay, how about this, sir? Before we go any further, I just want to go out and talk to you guys then.
We'd appreciate that.
And I'm going to close the door, though. Okay? I don't want anybody coming in here.
We're going to step outside with them. Do not open the door, okay? Do not open the door for them. Grab our key, lock the door behind us.
All right, me and my wife are coming out, all right?
Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you guys?
Just gonna close the door?
No. Hey,
What
relax.
is going on?
Relax, relax.
I got no weapons.
What is going on?
Here's the deal.
Sir, please.
Here's the deal.
Yes, yeah, let's talk.
Here's the deal.
Let's talk.
Listen.
Where's your warrant?
Come here.
Where is your warrant? Where's your warrant? Why are you doing this?
Protective custody warrant for the daughter, okay?
What do you plan to do with my children?
Just the one daughter who's named in the warrant is going to be taken into protective custody.
They're taking Aliana into custody.
She's gonna freak out if she does not have us by her side. She's gonna freak out. She's in better hands with her parents who love her. She's epileptic. She's gonna have seizures. Every time she gets anxiety, she has seizures.
What's your first name again?
I want to call the cops because people are about to take our daughter.
I don't understand why she's being taken in the first place.
She'll explain all that stuff right now.
Why isn't it being explained first?
And then you're like, oh, the cops are taking our daughter.
You might have to go somewhere for a little bit, okay? Look at me, okay? But mommy and daddy can't go, okay? I love you, okay? It's all right, baby. It's okay. They're taking Ollie right now.
Just seeing it, I just can't believe that that happened to us.
This is the worst thing a parent could go through, is not being able to protect your child.
And it is all over CBD oil. That's perfectly legal in California. We did get to visit her every day. The visits were really hard. Having to explain to your 7-year-old daughter who's scared at night because she's sleeping alone in a bunk bed in the dark, you know, away from home, why they can't come home with you. It's heartbreaking. The judge allowed her to come home with us.
There were certain guidelines that we had to follow.
We had to agree to put her back on her medication. We had to have once a week home visits from CPS. Anytime she went to a doctor's appointment, they wanted to be there. Anything that has to do with her medical condition, they wanted to know about it. We were like, we need to find a doctor ASAP who will support us giving her CBD oil, and that's what we did.
The CBD works so well in people who have difficult to treat seizures. Usually we don't see any side effects at all.
Right.
The kids tolerate it really, really well.
And when we saw him, he was like, all right, put her back on CBD. But we were like, we can't, because if we don't, they'll take her again from us. So we have to wait till the next hearing.
You're okay. You want to listen to some Taylor again? Yeah, you do. My son's nurse likes Katy Perry, and we're like, no, we don't like Katy Perry. We love Taylor Swift, right? Right, Papa? She's not allowed to be heard in this. We don't hear Katy Perry in our house, right? We only hear Taylor Swift. Yeah. Hey, Papa.
He understands something. It's like he wants to express himself. It's like he's trapped in his body. My son Rosendo suffers from dysphagia, brain atrophy, epilepsy. You're okay? Pneumonias, seizures. He doesn't walk. He doesn't talk. He doesn't eat.
You okay? You want to take a break? Let's take a break. Take a break. You okay? You're okay.
And to this day, the doctors still do not know what caused it all.
They gave you shots today, huh? Tell them. And you were so tough, right? What was happening was all of his food started going into his lungs. He started aspirating for some odd reason. And then whatever made it to his stomach came back up and went into his lungs. So it was a double whammy. He never got better. He just started to deteriorate. Come on, squeeze my hand. Just our whole life just completely changed.
No, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay. Put him on his side. On his side, on his side.
Every seizure that he's had, they've lasted anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. I mean, for me, that's way too long. Hey, do something. It's okay, it's okay. Right there on the foot of the bed. Hey. 30 seconds seems like 10 minutes because your child is seizing and they're convulsing and they're jumping off the bed. It only takes one to take his life. Oxygen's still too low. Come on, Lucinda. Okay, you know what? We're gonna stretch you. Where's the ball? We've tried homeopathy. We've done craniosacral. We've done herbal. We've done irradiology. We've done hyperbaric oxygen treatments. We've done integrative medicine, like with a former PA that specializes more in holistic care. Oh my gosh, Lucinda. We tried doing a detox. That was too much from it, triggered a seizure. So we've done so much stuff. Stretch it out. I mean, they've done every test underneath the sun, but everything has come back normal. So I don't think we'll ever get an answer. CBD is legal in Texas. The strength of the CBD can go up to 0.05, a little bit stronger, but we actually don't qualify because my son doesn't have intractable epilepsy, which I think is ridiculous because it just, again, takes one seizure to take his life. So why are we not allowed to get a higher dosage? Cough it out, Lucinda. You can do it. Cough it out. But THC is what actually stops the seizures. And it comes in a nasal spray form where if a child is seizing, you just do a spray. Within 5 seconds, the seizure stops. I'm gonna try to get my hands on it. I have to try. I think any parent would. I cannot just allow my child to just sit back and suffer and continue getting more brain damage and possibly getting worse. I feel like I have to do something or else my son's gonna die. Hi, how are you? I'm Myra Rivera. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Oh, can I give you a hug?
Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for everything you're doing. You're very popular in the community for children with special needs as far as the stuff that you're making. This is where the oil comes from, all this.
This actually makes the Canatol product line, the nasal spray and the sublingual spray for autism.
It makes me want to cry because I read so many stories of people who have had such success with this, and to be here and to see, like, this is what is saving people's lives. I mean, I can't believe, like,
it's just a plant.
It's here. It's a plant, but it's just so emotional to see it. I mean, yes, you get to a point where it's like you have to give it to God, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, if there is something out there that could help, why not try it?
Well, God gave us this.
Yeah, God gave us the plants. So my son is on 3 seizure medications right now. The side effects of the seizure medication, one of them was severe constipation to the point where we were actually having to take out his stool manually because he was in so much pain. And so now we've had to add more meds to combat the side effects of the seizure meds.
Yeah, well, that's the sad part, is that people do try this as a last option, and I wish they'd use it as a first. Before you damage your kid's brain and kidney and livers, if they're on no pharmas, the cannabis oil works a lot better and a lot quicker. We see the best results with kids that are on 0 pharmaceuticals.
That's why I'm here.
You ready?
Let's do it.
Check it out. So this is my house. A lot of the families meet with us here for a consultation. So I think this is what's going to help him the most. This is Haley's Hope cannabis oil. The Haley's Hope is to be used daily, and that'll, eliminate the frequency and the severity of seizures. 3 times a day you want to do that.
Is it going to matter if I give it through his feeding tube?
No.
Okay.
This one, so that's the nasal spray. So if a seizure does break through, that's when you want to use that nasal spray. That usually works in 20 seconds.
Okay. I'm really excited. I can't wait to get on the road, see my son, and hopefully he's gonna get better once I give him the medicine. Already in Texas, hope is definitely overcoming fear right now. I feel more excitement that my son is gonna get better than I have fear. My son has appointments in Houston, and I will meet my friend in a hotel room, and that is where he's gonna get his first dose.
Hi, Papa. Hi. I love you very much. I love you.
I'm gonna give my son the oil. This should help stop with the seizures. I haven't cleaned his syringe. You're okay, Papa. You're gonna get better. You're gonna get better. Going to take off the label of this. It's also helpful that I have the nasal spray because now when my son does have a seizure, I have something that I know is gonna work and it's gonna stop the seizure, and I don't have to be worrying that I could potentially lose him. So nobody knows what it is. This could be frankincense and lavender, for all anybody knows, and purified water, because that's what I actually used to give him up his nose. So that's what I'm gonna say.
I give you some medicine that's gonna help you.
You feel better? And I'm really excited to see how my son is gonna respond, and hopefully he's gonna get better. No more seizures. Yeah. You won't have these movements anymore. And maybe you can say mama. Yeah? You think you could maybe say that, mama? Maybe you could walk. That would be awesome, right, Papa? I was excited, and now I'm feeling like the wrists are all settling in. And now I am scared. I'm really worried. If my son got taken away, I mean, it would just kill me. I'm always gonna put you first. You're always my #1 priority.
Hey, girl. Settle. You want this? There we go. It's kind of a mess.
Mouth.
Sorry.
Right mouth. CPS knocked on our door. I wasn't expecting them. That day I was actually expecting someone to come from the home health agency to kind of assess Kara's needs. And they showed up at the same time, and I assumed it was the lady from the home health agency, so I opened the door and said, come on in. Finally, when she's sitting at my table, I realized, oh, this is CPS about Kara's video. So the cat was out of the bag. I wasn't gonna be able to say, oh, I wasn't gonna let you in, scoot out the door. So Mark showed her our treatment machine and medicines, and you know, it was a safe environment, it was clean. I had probably a pot roast on the oven, so there was gonna be food available for her. She said to us, you're gonna be hearing from me tomorrow. Right then and there, I knew they weren't gonna take Kara away from us. They had no place to place her. There was no home environment that they could take her to that would be any safer than this.
Okay, settle.
The CPS lady called me the next day at work and said she wanted to drug test us.
We're exposed environmentally, right?
Right.
This is, I'm pushing this balloon and it's way blowing in my face. You know, where if I'm having to hold her where she's having a really bad time, I'm very close to her face.
That's when I decided I probably should talk to an attorney.
Our attorney pushed them to close the case. They decided that it was alleged physical abuse of Kara, because statutorily, illegal drugs to a minor is considered physical abuse. The irony of that is that we're actually saving her life.
Helping her stop abusing herself.
Yeah.
I think her self-injury is so severe, she'd have more brain damage because she is very hard on herself physically. Turn on the water. Come on. There you go. When disabled children turn 18, their parents become guardianship of the children. Okay, turn off the water. Dry your hands. Here's your brush. Let's do it. Kara, she'll probably never marry. She'll never have children. She'll never be able to vote. She doesn't speak yet. I'm very hopeful that this plant will help her have some verbiage. I'd love to hear the word mom or dad. I was nervous about us being able to become guardians because of the CPS case. Kara is a severe case of autism with self-injurious behavior, and she punches her head. It relieves her anxiety, any pain she may have, and it stabilizes her mood, it calms her down.
The court finds that Mark Zartler is not disqualified, in the court's opinion, to serve as a permanent guardian of the person. And the court also finds that Christine Kenyon Zartler is eligible and not disqualified to serve as guardian of the person. The court finds that they are both suitable persons.
I was really pleased with her. She had no problem right at the very end saying, and I grant guardianship to both parents, Mark and Christy Zartler. Bang. We did it. Yes.
I feel lucky in a way that the county has shown support for what we're doing.
I'm thrilled. It was like, wow. I felt like we had supporters that we never even knew existed. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And it was helpful.
Because supporters are kind of hard to come by.
I definitely feel a whole lot better about everything after, meeting Jason and, listening to me, get educated on everything.
Definitely very hopeful that this would help him.
I just really have a strong feeling that this is going to be life-changing and it's going to help my son.
I mean, if it helps him, it'd be great. If he, if he calms down.
It's not going to hurt him in any way. The worst-case scenario is there's no change. Here, Cole, we're going to give you some medicine. Okay.
Mama, Halloween.
Here, let me see. Come here. Hold on.
No.
I know, it's medicine that's gonna help you, honey. It's gonna help you feel better. I know. I know. Here. You did good. That was the first time. Hopefully he gets a little bit more next time. I think he spit quite a bit of it out. We'll see. Oh, you ready to go to bed? Say good night.
Good.
I love you.
Thank you for calling the TSA Contact Center. My name is Barry.
Hi.
Can you get your first and last name spelled?
Hi, my name is Katie Smith.
Okay. And just in case if we do get disconnected, can I have a telephone number so I can call you back?
Oh, that's okay. I just have a quick question. I'll call you back if I need to. So I am going to be traveling with some CBD oil for my son, and I'm just wondering what are like the laws on that.
Does that have like a hint of marijuana? Is that what that is?
Well, it's like the low THC, and it's from the hemp.
Okay, the hemp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me pull up some information. I'll read it to you. Under federal law, and many state laws, it is a crime to possess or transport any detectable amount of marijuana. TSA does not have any regulations that address the possession or the transportation of marijuana. However, we are required to notify law enforcement officers if we discover marijuana or other items that are illegal under state and federal laws while screening you and your accessible property. That's what we are told to tell people. I do apologize. I know it's a lot of gray areas there, but but we leave it that way you know, and then you can take the necessary steps with local law enforcement to see exactly what they say.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Hey, thank you. Bye. Please, paramedics.
Hi, I just have a question about traveling with CBD oil and what you cannot.
No, ma'am.
Really?
Yep. You can't travel. It's not. I don't believe it's federally illegal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so it's a federal airport. So when you go through TSA, then that's where it makes it illegal.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for your help. I appreciate it. All right.
Bye.
Okay.
Since we got back from Colorado and I started giving Senzo the CBD, he has gone from having seizures every 3 to 5 days to every 6 to 8 weeks. Let's feed you, okay? Hey, Rosendo. Hey. Hey. Rosendo, you're okay. You're okay. Oh my gosh. It's gonna work. Come on. Oh my God. The THC has been very helpful so that when my son does have a seizure, we give him the THC and it stops the seizure. And we don't have to worry that a seizure will take his life. You're okay, okay.
Let's go wash your face. Come on. Let me see. Let me finish. Nose, face, chin. How's that? Better? Look in the mirror. Do you look? Oh, you look so handsome. Walker is 23 years of age, and he was our first. My pregnancy was perfectly normal. He developed normally.
Thank you, Mama.
You're welcome, baby.
Yes.
Fire, okay. He wasn't making eye contact. He wasn't interested in us or other children, and so we began the process of having him diagnosed through our local school district. This is Walker's bedroom. Okay, go to the bathroom. I often describe him as my toddler in a man's suit because he's a 23-year-old toddler. He is fully potty trained, but he will urinate on the floor for some reason every morning. He doesn't have anything kept on his walls because he will pull them down. He's not trying to be destructive, he just likes it and wants to hold it, and then before you know, he has ripped it apart. Walker has a tendency to bite things. We have bite marks all over his dresser where he has bitten it, and consequently then he has teeth problems. All right, what do you want? His tendency has always been towards self-injury, hurting himself. TV on. I thought you wanted some Cheetos.
What did you tell me?
If we try to stop him, then he would come after us. He will grab your shirt. He will pull your hair.
Cheese and crackers.
Cheese and crackers, okay. Or grab your hand, and he wants to use you to harm himself and put it to his face and push as hard as he can. Okay, now we can get Cheetos. One day I took him to a dermatologist. He began to get irritated at me. He wrapped both arms around my neck. He began to butt his head up against my forehead. He didn't stop, so I said, call 911. They said, who do you want us to call? What do you want us to do? I said, call the paramedics because my son is sick. He's not a criminal. Hey, Walker, how was your day? Did you have fun today? What did you have for lunch? Pizza. You said chicken earlier. How about you, Hope? Did you have a good day? Hope was born when Walker was 10.5 years old. Having a brother who can potentially become violent has been really difficult for her. She has to keep her room locked all of the time because Walker can get into her room and get into her things. It's hard for us because we know she's locked herself in her room most of the day. Come on, we're going in. You ready? And it's hard to accept that your daughter wants to not be here. Maybe if we go up there, he'll come on. When I first saw a video about a child whose behaviors looked a lot like Walker's, and his behaviors were helped with marijuana, that was the first time I started to even consider that this drug would be helpful to him. Before that, I was totally anti-marijuana anything and just thought that people just wanted to get high.
to know that there is a medication, marijuana, that can help my son, but yet we can't even try it. It's beyond frustrating. But we did try CBD with him, that's legal, and we saw no improvement. No. Walker, be gentle. Walker is on a state-run program specifically for his disability. It's called HCS, Home and Community Services. Basically, it provides Medicaid and other kinds of services for him. We waited 11 years for the program he's on now here in Texas. The waiting list now is 15 to 20 years. So if we moved, we would give up his spot on that program, and then if for whatever reason Colorado didn't work out, let's say it wasn't all we'd hoped it would be, if we tried to move back, we'd have to go back on the waiting list. So another 20 years with no services. If we were to do something illegally that could risk my husband's career, and a marijuana charge would hurt him and hurt our family financially. On top of that, Adult Protective Services, it's a real threat. If something were to happen to me or to my husband, he would have no backup. There would be nothing for him. I want Walker to be able to get access to medical marijuana, and that it would help him to be calm, and it would help level out some of these panic attacks, and that he would be able to access the community, that he would be able to get into a day hab, that he would then be able to go into a group home setting and live with his peers. This home becomes a prison if we can't get out and get into the community. Every 23-year-old young man deserves a right to have a life of their own. Our biggest fear really is that he's going to be here when I die, and then who's going to take care of him?
Okay, Cole. Let's take your medicine. Here, come on, real fast and we'll be done. Real fast. It's okay.
Have you noticed any difference?
I mean, I feel like that I have. I feel like that he is just like calmer, and I feel like that he's not stimming as much and just like with the like hand flapping and yelling. But we haven't been here long enough for me to really know what it's going to do, the full effects. Now, as far as like traveling with it, now it's like kind of through a whole different loop. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like I came all the way out here, and I want it for him. I'm nervous and anxious and mad. It's just, I don't know. I want to take it. I don't want to quit. I don't want him not to try it. So, I don't know. But I think it's, I don't know. I guess it's just the risk I'm going to have to take.
Are reminded not to leave baggage or packages under the aircraft.
It gives me knots in my stomach to think of going to jail,
At any time. Unattended items.
getting my children taken away.
back. One more. Sorry. Good job.
After she was taken, she missed about a week of school. The principal of the school called me and said that they're concerned about Aliana's well-being.
Why don't we get a ball for Liam? We're gonna go take a walk.
We kept her home because of her seizures and also to deal with the emotional trauma of everything. And did we get support from the school? No, we got the cops sent to our house again. And the inside, I'm like freaking out a little bit, but I'm like, who is it? And he said it's Costa Mesa Police to do a welfare check. It was literally like 10 minutes back and forth, just threatening that if I don't cooperate, he's gonna have to break down the door. And if he does that, then I'm gonna be arrested for interfering with his investigation. He did contact the social worker that was looking over our case at the time. She said, you know, I was just at their house yesterday, everything's fine. So there's no welfare check needed. Eventually, he went away. Joe and I decided to homeschool. I don't think I could ever trust the school system again.
Allie, go over there, I'm gonna throw it to you. If I had heard about something like this happening to another family, I might have even thought, oh, they must have did something wrong, because this stuff doesn't just happen. But it does. It happened to us. Before giving her the CBD oil, she was still having the seizures once a month. And now she hasn't had a seizure in a long time. She's healthy. I'm so grateful for CBD oil. It just gives so much hope. It gives life.
Whenever I started giving him this, the way that this tastes is not that great, and he definitely doesn't like it. Like, he would just spit it out. So after talking to Jason about it, he told me to mix it with a little bit of apple juice, and then I can still squirt it into his mouth and he'll take it. Hey, Cole, let's take your medicine, okay? Let me see. You ready? Let's try to hold it in there just for a little bit. Okay, good job. Good job, high five. Good job, Cole. Okay, you're all done. He's been on it for about 6 months. It's benefited him, but I think it's benefited him in a small way. I think that he really would need something stronger with THC to really benefit him. The number one thing that I would hope that he would get from the oil with the THC would be communication. If he could communicate more, that would be, I mean, amazing, because that's going to be a factor in his life, and what all he's able to do as far as the rest of his life and being an adult is going to depend on communication. But just not even be able to get that for him and to see how it could benefit him is really frustrating. That's why I'm just waiting to see what happens here and hoping for the best, and hopefully it's sooner than later that I will be able to treat him with it.
This session coming up, Mark and I elected to be much more involved. In fact, he became a Republican delegate from our district, and I became a Democratic delegate. And then we went to both of the state conventions to make sure that medical marijuana is on both platforms, so that when we go back down there next session, we can talk to any of our representatives and say, it's part of your party platform that we make these changes for patients in Texas.
My name is Mark Zartler. I live in Texas and illegally treat my daughter, Kara Zartler, with cannabis.
Because medical marijuana is a Schedule I drug, we went to Washington, D.C. I contacted all of my representatives there, and I said, I'm going to be in town these 3 days, and I'll be free anytime those 3 days.
We made an appointment with Pete Sessions about a month in advance.
I made sure we're gonna be meeting face to face because I've got some things I wanna tell him and I wanna show him a video of my daughter. And I was told, yes, you're gonna meet him directly, face to face. We are here at the Rayburn Building in Washington, D.C. We're gonna meet our representative, Pete Sessions, Congressman Pete Sessions. Well, we were snubbed. He couldn't meet with us. We got to meet his staff members. We weren't able to, get any support from him, and we weren't able to tell him what we needed for our daughter, Kara Zartler.
Christy just, she lost it. She started crying. It's very frustrating. We spend all of our vacation doing this. I posted this picture of us outside his office. This is as close as we got to him, right? So we posted the story of what just happened.
We posted, this is the guy who didn't show up, and here's his office number. And over 100 people called his office that day. That very day, it was probably 2 and 3 hours later, his office was trying to contact us back saying, we're ready to meet now. Please come back. Where are you? How long are you in town?
He only cared after it became a problem for his phone line. It shouldn't be this hard.
I have talked to a lot of people who are terrified that any attempts to legalize marijuana is going to open up the floodgates and make it available to all of our teenagers. Yes, the risk is there. The risk is there now.
It's a war zone out there. Everybody and their cousin is trying to get into the CBD market, and they're just selling like really bad, unhealthy products.
That's why I'm somewhat suspicious when I see something like Super Silver Haze sold at a pot shop on Venice Beach by a woman in a bikini who claims to be a nurse to an 18-year-old with a pulse that says they're anxious. That's not medicine.
We need regulation.
There are certain safety standards that need to be followed. Molds and pesticides are not something that we want in our kids' medications.
Doctors that have wanted to do studies, they can't get the research permits from the FDA. The FDA says it's toxic, lethal, it's so dangerous that we can't even research it. And they're still refusing to lift the Schedule I status.
The fact that some states seem to think it's more important to fight this horrible fight against cannabis than to allow children to be properly treated, that's criminal government.
People got to make noise to the federal government so that they will change these laws and regulations.
I was kind of in the lion's den with the lobbyists, and they would go back to, well, we don't have studies. Well, it's Schedule I, we can't have any studies. You know that. But we have international studies, and you can't use that as a scapegoat here anymore. There's just an enormous lobbying presence, and they're standing up, to moms. I'm a mom.
Keep fighting. There's not going to be a change in this country unless you stand up and fight for your kids.
I think that the federal government doesn't have any idea what they're doing or who's talking to who or who's on what side. I think that over half of the states are legalized. And this is what the people want. This is what we want to do. And let's just move on. Let's just legalize it and move on. This is ridiculous.
We don't deny medication to people who really need it simply because other people abuse it.
We essentially need a civil rights movement, if you will. We need a march on Washington to get this to really happen.
Ultimately, I am a one-issue voter. My son's life is my one issue. If you don't support medical cannabis, then you want my son to die. Cut and dry for me.
All you need to do is to see one child whose performance has improved greatly, to start to think of the word hope.